some people already have Halloween decorations out, but the weather we've had the last day or so, not so happy for them.
Yeah, not conducive to it. You know, so mine are out. One, I'm really into Halloween. Two, I have a 4-year-old that sometimes you do what you have to do to entertain for an hour, and that was putting out the Halloween stuff. This week, though, in general, is not going to feel appropriate for it. It's actually a pretty mild week coming up here. Radar showing the last of the rain moving out of down east Maine, and most of us in good shape here, with the satellite picture showing the most sunshine over western and southwestern parts of the state, the most cloud cover over northern Maine. It'll be variable in cloud cover through the rest of today, but I think with the temperatures in the upper 60s and low 70s, it will feel like a nice day regardless. 70 flat in Portland, Sanford, and Portsmouth, 65 in Waterville, 66 in Bangor. Remember, our average high this time of year is now down into the 60s. That's the slow decline, right? And that's why a day like today actually feels mild, and it is statistically mild. Now, it's worth noting that we will see some showers popping up later this afternoon, and the Storm Prediction Center actually has a very small risk, they call it a slight risk, of some stronger storms in the mountains later today and into the evening, so we'll keep an eye on that. It's kind of hard to get severe storms in this time of the year, but anything's possible, so we'll keep an eye on those after sunset over western Maine and eventually into the mountains. The rest of us, just an isolated sprinkle is possible later this evening. We cloud back up, it looks like late tonight, early tomorrow morning. I think tomorrow is again a mixture of sun and clouds, but temperatures are back into the upper 60s to around 70. Interesting thing about this pattern overall is that we're kind of in an unsettled pattern. There's a broad trough here and systems all around, but it doesn't really translate to that much rain. Our next chance of a sprinkle comes in maybe Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, but even that looks like we start to clear out with temperatures into the mid and upper 60s by Wednesday afternoon. So I think most of this week is actually pretty good, even though the kind of what we call synoptic pattern doesn't look conducive to that. All right, so we got rid of Fiona, and now we have another hurricane here. It's a Cat 1 hurricane, although just looking at that satellite, it looks stronger than that. I guess we'll get the next update in a couple of hours. So this is Ian. It will move off to the north and west, projected to be maybe a major Cat 4 hurricane at some point between where it is now and Florida. Now, I just want to talk briefly about this because the track obviously always matters, but I think it really, really matters in finite detail for a city like Tampa or the west coast of Florida here. And what I mean by that is some models have the track here and some have it here. And the difference in damage in a place like Tampa would be hugely different based on that. So if it stalls just offshore like it's shown here, I think this will be a very major storm for the west coast of Florida. If it wobbles west here, then it will be a lesser storm and go into the panhandle. So we'll keep an eye on that. It's going to be a big national story. If it comes in as a Cat 3, just about 75 miles off the coast of Tampa, that is going to be a bad time for them. Now, as to where it goes after that, it looks like this high over us is actually going to protect us and push this thing away. So we may see no impacts from it whatsoever. In fact, probably see nice weather. I mean, this is a good looking week for this time of the year, considering, when does October start? Is it this weekend?
Yeah, Saturday.
Saturday, thank you, Pat. So yeah, I mean, this is pretty good. 60s, some low 70s, not a ton of rain after we get past Tuesday. And obviously, Pat will keep an eye on that storm, not only for the national aspect, but to see if its path in any way interferes with our weather.
Thank you, Keith.